Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. Today, we're continuing our series in the Player's Handbook talking about spellcasters. We're talking about Paladins still. Paladins are the half-caster super marshals that everyone knows and loves. And with the introduction of the brand new Smite rules, now we're actually seeing a lot more focus on what Paladin spells can be. You're not blowing 2 or 3 spell slots a turn, just Nova damaging a creature into oblivion because smites take a bonus action, so you only get 1 per turn. This means that you got a lot more spell slots to work with for regular casting. I've got myself here the level 2 Paladin spells. You get these as a level 5 Paladin, so your 5th level, you just got extra attack. You've had your subclass for a couple levels, Aura of Protection's right around the corner, but you've also got some new spells to play with. What are you going to choose? I've prepared a top 5 list, 2 focused on utility, 2 focused on combat, plus an honorable mention. Before we get into the details, though, I'd like to let you know, Relaxed Fantasy Review has memberships. For just $1 a month, you can support me here on YouTube and get a couple benefits. You get a little badge next to your name in the comments, letting folks know you're a supporter. You get early access to my videos a day earlier than everyone else, and you get VIP access in my community Discord. The Discord is free for anyone to join, but in my VIP room, I've been sharing a lot of new homebrew content that I've been working on. If that sounds interesting to you, you can click the join button just down there next to the subscribe button. And if it doesn't interest you, that's fine as well. Just being here at all, watching the video, liking and subscribing to the channel, these are all great ways to support me. So thank you for watching my content here on YouTube. Okay, let's start off in combat. Paladins love their combat, and I've chosen a smite spell that I have as my number 2 pick. It's a new one called Shining Smite. Shining Smite works like many other smites. When you hit with a melee weapon attack, you can use your bonus action and cast this spell. It does take your concentration, lasts for 1 minute, and the target takes 2d6 extra radiant damage and starts to glow. The glow is very similar to fairy fire. They cannot benefit from being invisible, they shed a little bit of light, and all attacks against them have advantage as long as you maintain concentration. Did you notice something that wasn't there? A saving throw. Because there is no saving throw. As long as you hit, and in order to cast this spell you have to hit, then the effect is automatic. The damage, the radiance that they give off, all that sort of stuff, it just happens. It's a really, really strong battlefield effect, granting advantage to all sorts of characters, not just you. And against a big bad enemy who's got great saving throws, this bypasses legendary resistance because there's no save involved. That sort of power definitely deserves a spot in recognition, and so I'm giving it the number 2 spot for the Paladin. Number 2 spot for utility, I'm going to give to the spell Aid, a very, very famous spell and a fan favorite. Aid is just really, really good. You cast it as an action on 3 different creatures. All of them get a +5 to their maximum hit points. This means that this is not temporary hit points. This isn't additional. This is a maximum hit point increase. It lasts for 8 hours. And this means that if a character gets dropped down below their maximum, they can get healed back up to higher than normal. And it stacks with temporary hit points as well, which is awesome. By upcasting it, you can increase that maximum from 5 up to 10 and so on as you continue to upcast it. But even at the low levels, this increase is powerful. It also works as a quick heal in combat because it can hit 3 targets with just an action. And that extra 5 maximum that you get also heals you for 5. So that can be helpful if you've got multiple downed party members. But the focus I want to think about is the utility. The fact that this stacks with temp HP, the fact that this works with healing spells, it's just a really, really good effect. And using it early on in the day when you're starting off, I would blow a 2nd level spell slot on this, especially if I had a smaller party and hit points really started to matter because we knew we were going into combat. So I'm giving it number 2 for utility. Before we get to the number 1s, I'll throw the honorable mention out there. That is Lesser Restoration. This is one of those that is just nice to have around. It's a simple spell. It casts as an action on a creature, and they get cured of one of the following conditions: blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned. All real debilitating effects. Hold person will take, this will basically undo that. This will undo any poison that inflicts the poison condition. Things like blinding effects like color spray. There's a lot of spells out there that do these effects at the low levels, and Lesser Restoration just kind of nopes them. Now, does that mean you should use it in combat? Probably not, unless you're in a long kind of battle of attrition slog of combat. Then maybe I'd consider using this. But I think under most circumstances, this is for longer term blindness, deafness, and poison. Paralysis doesn't usually happen in a long-term aspect. But if a character gets poisoned by a curse, or if they have some sort of long-term blindness affected to them, then this fixes the problem. So it's good to have in your back pocket, and that's why I'm giving it the honorable mention. Moving on to number 1. Number 1 for combat, I'm going to give to the spell Magic Weapon. This spell has been greatly improved since the old rules. Magic Weapon enchants a weapon. It lasts for an hour, does not take your concentration, which is very nice, and with a second level spell slot, like you're going to be casting it here, it enchants a weapon of your choice with a +1. This means that if you don't have a magic weapon yet, and at level 5, it's very likely you may not have a magic weapon yet, this just overcomes that and says, no, here's your +1. You cast this as you're going into the dangerous area, it lasts for an hour, doesn't ask for your concentration. It is well worth the spell slot. But it gets better, because this spell can be upcast to increase the weapon's power further. You're going to get your 3rd level spell slots at level 9. If you still don't have a magic weapon, or you only have a +1 weapon, then use that in your kind of standard fights. But if you're going into a dangerous area where the enemies are stronger, maybe use a 3rd level spell slot with this spell, upgrade a non-magical weapon to a +2 weapon. Now, it can, with a level 6 spell slot and higher, the spell can enchant a weapon to +3, but as a paladin, you're never going to get that. But still, having a +2 magic weapon with nothing more than a 3rd level slot and this spell, basically on demand, hard to argue with. Especially since you can cast this on multiple weapons. It doesn't take concentration. If you're willing to blow all your 3rd and 2nd level spell slots on this, you can kit out the whole party with +1 and +2 weapons. You really can't argue with that, especially if your DM's being stingy with magic items. So I give this the number 1 spot. It's debatable whether this is more helpful than Shining Smite. That advantage on demand can really be good. But I think as a rule of thumb, +1 and +2 weapons for an entire hour, which is many combats of worth of time, is more worth it for a single spell slot than a single smite would be, which only lasts for a fight at most. So, I'm going to give it the number 1 spot, in my opinion. As far as the utility number 1 goes, I don't think this is going to surprise anybody. It is Find Steed. Find Steed is such a good spell, and it has been significantly upgraded. There's so much cool stuff. You summon yourself a steed. It can be a horse, it can be, a giant dog, it can take whatever form you want it to. It's a steed that you can ride around, and this steed has so many cool features, depending on what kind of steed you summon. It can be Fey, it can be Fiend, you can summon ones that can heal, like celestial ones, teleport, they can even frighten your enemies. They do a small attack that you can command them to do. They increase your movement speed significantly, especially if you're not a particularly fast species. There's just so much that a steed can accomplish, and having it on the battlefield is just, it's never bad. Obviously, it may not always be applicable. Sometimes you're going to be in tight dungeons like caves and stuff where your steed may not fit necessarily. But considering the fact that you can summon and unsummon it with this spell, you can utilize it when you need it, you can send it away when you don't, you can communicate with it telepathically. There's just a lot of features here, and it is genuinely the best utility you can really ask for at these low levels of play. Powerful steeds cost a lot of money, and if they die, they just are gone. A paladin says, don't care. can cast this, get my steed, have all the effects plus more, and then if it dies, I can resummon it with another spell slot. No problem. Yeah, hard to argue with that kind of utility. I give it number 1 for the Paladin. And yeah, that's it. If you are a level 5 Paladin and you just got your 2nd level spells, you're not sure what to take, I recommend Fine Steed and Magic Weapon. Shining Smite is a really good smite to have at this level, and Aid and Lesser Restoration are awesome support spells that are nice to have in your back pocket, especially if you're kind of the party healer. It's good to have them on standby if that's the case. If the cleric can handle that stuff, then you focus on smiting and magic weaponing. But yeah, I hope that helps. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below. Have a look for the join button down there, and keep your eyes peeled for more spellcasting reviews coming down the line soon. Have a good one, my friends.